Can I play for food? Just something small for my baby." The restaurant owner threw his head back and laughed. "You? Play violin? Lady, this is a Michelin star restaurant, not a charity kitchen." But the woman was already opening her worn violin case, her 6-month-old baby crying softly in the carrier on her back. "Please, she hasn't eaten all day. I just need—" "Security!" he barked. The woman's fingers trembled as she lifted the violin to her chin. What happened in the next 60 seconds would make the owner fall to his knees. Because this poor street musician was worth $50 million, and she was about to change everything. Subscribe now to see how this unfolds. You won't believe what happens next. Her name was Elena Volkov. 5 years ago, she'd been the youngest concert violinist to sell out Carnegie Hall. Critics called her the next Paganini. Her performances commanded $100,000 per night. Luxury brands fought to dress her. Billionaires collected her recordings like fine wine. But when she became pregnant, everything changed. The baby's father, a wealthy conductor, vanished the moment he saw the positive test. Her management dropped her. "You're damaged goods," they'd said. "Nobody wants a pregnant violinist." Elena gave birth alone, named her daughter Sophia, and made a decision. She'd walk away from fame to protect her child from that toxic world. She'd invested wisely, $50 million in stocks, real estate, trust funds. She could live comfortably forever without working another day. But tonight, she'd left her wallet at home. A simple mistake. She'd rushed out with Sophia for a walk, gotten caught in the rain, and now, 3 miles from home, her baby was screaming with hunger. The upscale restaurant Le Bernardin glowed warm and golden ahead. Elena stepped inside, soaked, her designer coat hidden in a ratty thrift store jacket she'd grabbed for the rain. "Can I help you?" The hostess wrinkled her nose at Elena's appearance. Wet hair, worn clothes, crying baby. I need food for my baby. I can pay, I just forgot my wallet. But I have my violin." "This isn't a soup kitchen," the hostess' voice dripped contempt. A man approached, tall, silver-haired, expensive suit. Marcus Blackwell, the owner. His restaurant had 3 Michelin stars and a 6-month waiting list. "What's the problem here?" "This woman wants free food," the hostess sneered. Marcus looked Elena up and down, saw the cheap jacket, the crying baby, the battered violin case. And he smiled, a cruel, cold smile. "How entertaining! Let me guess. You're going to play us a little tune?" Elena's cheeks burned. I'm a professional violinist. I can perform. Just a sandwich. Some milk for my baby. Please." Marcus turned to his packed dining room. Wealthy patrons in designer clothes, dripping in jewelry, sipping $500 bottles of wine. "Ladies and gentlemen," he announced loudly, "we have entertainment tonight. A professional violinist is going to play for her supper." Laughter rippled through the room. A woman in diamonds whispered to her companion, "Oh God, how desperate." A businessman smirked. "This should be hilarious." Sophia's cries grew louder. Elena bounced her gently, whispering, "It's okay, baby. Mama's got you." If you're loving this story, hit that subscribe button. This is about to get intense. "Well," Marcus crossed his arms, "we're waiting. Show us what a professional sounds like." Elena's hands shook as she opened her violin case. Inside, was a Stradivarius, one of only 650 in existence, worth $15 million. But it looked old, worn. Nobody recognized it. "That thing probably sounds like a dying cat," someone muttered. Elena positioned Sophia's carrier carefully on a nearby chair. Her daughter's face was red from crying, little fists waving. "Just one song," she said quietly. "Then food for my baby." "Oh, this is too good." Marcus pulled out his phone, started recording. "I'm posting this. Homeless musician thinks she's Yo-Yo Ma." More laughter. Elena closed her eyes, lifted the violin, drew the bow. And then, the first note cut through the restaurant like lightning. It wasn't just sound. It was presence, pure, crystalline, impossibly beautiful. The laughter died instantly. Elena began Paganini's Caprice No. 24, one of the most technically difficult pieces ever written. Her fingers flew across the strings, impossible, humanly speed and precision. But nobody knew what was about to happen when she finished. Nobody knew she was about to destroy them all. The restaurant had gone completely silent. Forks frozen midair, wine glasses forgotten, every eye locked on Elena. Her bow danced across the strings, rapid-fire notes that shouldn't be humanly possible, harmonics that made the crystal chandeliers vibrate, crescendos that raised goosebumps on every arm. This wasn't street performance. This was mastery. The hostess's mouth hung open. Marcus's phone slipped slightly in his hand, still recording. An elderly man in the corner, a renowned music professor, stood up slowly, tears streaming down his face. "My God, that's Elena Volkov." Elena's eyes remained closed, lost in the music. This piece had been her signature, the one she'd performed at Carnegie Hall to a 15-minute standing ovation. She poured everything into it, every sleepless night with Sophia, every moment of doubt, every time she'd wondered if she'd made the right choice walking away from fame. The final note hung in the air, a single, perfect, heartbreaking tone. Silence. Then thunderous applause. The entire restaurant erupted. Standing ovation. People crying. The music professor pushing towards her, trying to reach her. But Elena just calmly placed her violin back in its case. "Now," she said quietly to Marcus, "food for my baby." Marcus's face had gone white. You're Elena Volkov! The Elena Volkov?" "I was. Now I'm just a mother asking to feed my child." I didn't know." "You didn't need to know who I am. You just needed to be a decent human being." She turned to leave.
"Wait!" Marcus grabbed her arm. "Please, I'm sorry. Let me—" Elena pulled away. "I don't want your apology. I want my daughter fed." "Of course, anything, everything, on the house." "I don't want on the house." Elena's voice turned to ice. "I want to pay, full price, because unlike you, I don't judge people's worth by their appearance." And then she did something that would haunt Marcus Blackwell forever. Elena pulled out her phone, made one call. "James, it's Elena. I need you to pull up everything on Le Bernardin restaurant. Owner, Marcus Blackwell. Yes, everything. Financial records, business licenses, health inspections, employee complaints, all of it." Marcus's face drained of color. "What are you—" "Elena Mitchell is my attorney," Elena said calmly, rocking Sophia. "And my financial advisor. I own a venture capital firm specializing in hospitality investments." The restaurant went dead silent again. We were actually considering investing in Le Bernardin, a $5 million expansion deal. You were going to be featured in our luxury portfolio. Marcus's legs nearly gave out. Were? Elena's smile was razor-sharp. I don't invest in businesses run by people who mock desperate mothers, who laugh at struggling parents, who judge human worth by clothing. She turned to address the wealthy diners, still staring. You all laughed. You recorded this on your phones for entertainment. A hungry baby was crying, and you thought it was funny. Shamefaced, several people looked down. The professor stepped forward. Ms. Volkov, I apologize on behalf of... You didn't laugh, Professor Chen. I remember you from Juilliard. Elena's voice softened slightly. You were kind to me when I was a student. She turned back to Marcus. My attorney is sending documentation to the Michelin board. The video you recorded, it's evidence. They'll review how you treat vulnerable guests. No, please, we'll lose our stars. You should lose them. Michelin restaurants are supposed to represent excellence in hospitality. You showed none. Marcus fell to his knees, actually begging. I'll do anything, please. Elena looked at him, this powerful man reduced to pleading, the same way he'd reduced her to begging. Stand up, she said coldly. I'm not going to ruin you. That would make me like you. She paused, letting him hope. But I am going to teach you a lesson you'll never forget. Elena's attorney arrived 30 minutes later with her wallet and checkbook. She paid full price for a meal, the most expensive on the menu. Fed Sophia, tipped the waitstaff generously, but she made Marcus watch every moment. You're not evil, Elena said as she prepared to leave. You're just small. You built your worth on exclusivity, on making others feel less than so you could feel superior. She adjusted Sophia's carrier, her daughter now sleeping peacefully. I walked away from fame because that world was toxic, because being rich and famous meant nothing if I couldn't be a good mother. Tonight, you reminded me why I made the right choice. Marcus stood there broken as Elena walked out. The story went viral within hours. The video Marcus had recorded, meant to humiliate, instead showed his cruelty. Le Bernardin lost 2 Michelin stars. Reservations plummeted. But something unexpected happened. 3 months later, Elena received a letter from Marcus. He'd shut down Le Bernardin, sold everything, opened a community kitchen, free meals for struggling parents. You taught me, the letter said, that true wealth isn't in your bank account. It's in how you treat people who can't do anything for you. Elena smiled, folded the letter, and kissed Sophia's forehead. Some lessons are expensive. Some changes take everything. But compassion? That's priceless. If this story moved you, subscribe to our channel for more powerful narratives about dignity, justice, and the hidden worth in all of us. Remember, never judge someone by their appearance. The person you mock today might be the angel or the lesson you needed tomorrow. Like, comment, and share if you believe kindness matters more than status.